So I'm actually using this YouTube channel. So I am sitting in my car looking out at the Kingston Harbor, and I I just feel like talking. I just feel like vlogging. In a good space, kinda ish. So I feel like talking. I feel like talking about relationships. I love talking about relationships. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna write a book on relationships. I should. All of my friends tell me I should. Let me take off my ID from work so you don't see where I work. So all of my friends say I should write a book about relationships. It's gonna have chapters such as the injured bird, the damaged man, or the damaged goods. Men age like wine, women age like milk. How to stroke your man's ego. Chapters like that. All that good stuff. I really need to write this book. If I can get somebody to help me put my thoughts on paper, I swear my book would be a bestseller. Anyway, let's talk about relationships. So I saw this quote that says, would you much rather be loved or would you much rather be respected? So without putting too much of my business out there or my experiences out there, I think that people should always choose respect. I think with respect, you can walk away from a relationship, or you can walk away from a relationship feeling that you are still yourself. But like when you sacrifice respect for love, I think that you end up miserable. Because no matter how much somebody says they love you, if they're disrespecting you, then, you don't feel too good about yourself, right? So that's my view. Choose respect over love. But then the truth is, if somebody loves you, they should respect you. Relationships are very hard because it's two persons having their own unique ways of dealing with things coming together. And if you and somebody are not like perfectly aligned, it becomes even more complicated. Anybody that says that they've had a cakewalk relationship, I'm looking at them like, the F are you talking about? Because I never had one of those. I never seen one of those. Relationships have issues because people butt heads. Some people or some couples butt heads more than others, but it's my genuine belief that people butt heads. What's needed most in a relationship? I think communication is such a big deal. I honestly do believe so. I think if people could communicate and have a genuine interest in understanding their partner, I don't think there is anything that a relationship couldn't survive. With people being empathetic and trying to understand where their partner is coming from, and people communicating about issues. I think a lot of times people like to shut down and do not like to discuss things. And then this is just problematic because then nothing gets resolved. And just in general, like I've known couples that have been together, seemingly love each other, but things fall apart because people don't want to communicate. And people must be very honest about their needs. People get into relationships because they have wants or needs and they want them to be met. If you feel like somebody gets into a relationship and them don't have needs or wants, you is lying. I knew this couple. The man was married before. He was married young, and then he had 2 kids, and him and his wife break up. Went on, marry a younger woman, and one of the things that he said was, I have needs in my relationship, and I anticipate that my wife will satisfy them, and she has needs that I would need to satisfy too. And I thought that was just a very frank way of putting it. I'd never thought about needs and relationship and people going into relationship because they have needs that they need to satisfy, but it's the truth. And to pretend like that isn't the case is to be stupid, and to not try to meet the needs of your partner would be selfish and stupid, because then that means that you're not really invested in the relationship, right? Anyway, this is just my musing. I should have wrote down a list of things to talk about. It would flow more easily. But all I'm saying is that always try to make a genuine effort to communicate. Like, try to listen. Like, it's one thing to talk, but it's another thing to listen and then to try and fix. I know somebody said to me today, I've almost been divorced 3 times. So, they're no relationship expert. But, like, relationships are difficult. They're hard. I I don't know if the older you get, the easier it gets either. Because the older people get is the more stuck in their ways they are. And I find it, especially for men don't like to change. Men don't like change, except changing women, but that's a whole different topic. So yeah, the older people get is the more difficult it is, because they're more, I like this and I don't like that, and I need my woman to do this and I need my man to do that. It's so much more difficult. And I really do feel like the older you get, the more it is that you need to find somebody that you are more so compatible with. Older people can't build. So my thing is, two people that are 40 can't come together and say, oh, let's build. Yeah, the likelihood of it working is not gonna happen, because it has to be that there's a high level of compatibility. There has to be a high level of compatibility the older you get in your relationships. Younger, you can kind of sort of work with it if it's two young people being together, but the older you get, people are very stuck in them ways. I think I'm gonna move this over to Instagram, but yeah, that's my thoughts for now. I'm gonna pop in again. This wasn't too bad. Let's see if anybody will watch my YouTube video. So if people can comment, I'd love to do that. I need to.